ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I stand before you today to prosecute Friar Lawrence of involuntary manslaughter. Friar Lawrence had no experience planning in the failure, i.e. the failure of his plan, let alone the fact that he gave away a potion without having a medical license.
On top of that, he had no clue whether or not this medicine would be effective or not. Although the medicine did not work, he failed to notify Romeo of his risky plan to reunite the couple, which makes him liable for Romeo's death. Now on to Juliet. I asked the defendants if the friar knew Capulets and Montagues were going to come after them, why not relocate the place where they were supposed to reunite?
Be it that the defense has brought up a point of cerebral, true it is her decision ultimately, but be that as it may, the youth can be easily influenced by anybody, and yet a priest, a grown man, is following a teenager as if she is royalty. Question for the jury. If the friar simply would have used his authority to a teenage mind, could we quite possibly have a totally different story? Yeah.
Then he fled the scene. I don't believe he thought his plan out fully, because once people came, he attempted to flee the scene of the first suicide. He only asked Juliet once to come along, then he left. He did not care for anyone but himself. I asked the jury, couldn't the friar win a more silver way? He could have appealed to the prince. He didn't have to risk lives.
He harbored a fugitive, as the defense stated. That's a crime in its own right. So he committed 3 crimes. To reiterate the cerebral part, as we explained when he covers self and society, almost every teenager is influenced by a person who is to say, Friar Lawrence taking responsibility for his actions and wanting to wait it out with Juliet. That's why that we could at least have one life with her. Because the death of Romeo and simultaneously ended the battle of Capulets versus Montagues.
And our closing argument is, as we covered over and over again of self and society, almost every teenager is influenced by at least a figure, be it fashion or a person. They're influenced by someone. Friar Lawrence could have been that person to influence her to stay alive.